video is sponsored by...
Started with a jump scare.
In this video, I'm exposing the hypocrisy of the world's biggest streamers.
I'm first gonna start with MuKitty's initial video that Charlie responded to sort of understand what started it all.
This video is sponsored by...
My gosh. I don't know if that's too loud. Oh my gosh. That was loud for me.
But remember, nothing I created does can affect the viewer in a bad way. Why? Because the only thing that matters is consent. Unless it's Trainwreck doing $360 million a year by a gamble sponsor. And suddenly, Twitch has is irresponsible kids that can't take their own decisions. In this video, I'm exposing the hypocrisy of the world's biggest streamers. And after my last video, I took accountability if I go too far.
That was a lot. That was hard to keep up with. I mean, my editing's a little bit like that, but that was a jump scare to begin with.
And I saw some comments that said that it was not okay. I want to take this chance to apologize. So absolutely no. Come on, guys. What is worse? Me calling Cutie a cringe host, or her inviting a convicted domestic abuse to her event? I guess it depends on social status.
I feel like we've gone 20 miles in 2 seconds. I don't even know. It's hard to keep up with.
Is the only thing that matters, because then you can be like my favorite streamer XQC. He looked at my video disgusted and said that I went too far.
Okay.
This is what it looks like.
Okay, dude. Okay.
Fuck,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
call-
It was way too far. Yeah.
Exploitation and objectification.
Come on, guys, what is worse? Me using Cutie's 2 months old crying video, or XQC joking about deepfake in his chat the same day Cutie came out crying on her stream? Twitch and YouTube is starting to become the one thing we all hate. It's like TV, where real reactions and opinions aren't expressed anymore. Only the opinions that the people with higher status agree upon.
What? Trying to wrap my head around what she's saying. I don't know. I'm a little lost. I'm trying to keep up, but...
You look at the video where XQC reacted to my video, he didn't laugh one single time. I'm not bragging that I'm funny, I'm super cringe. But if you're a juicer like me, you all know it's weird, because we all know his humor.
This one?
Baker Matt.
This was way too far.
Hey! What?
Oh my god, please.
What? Oh my gosh. I don't know what I walked into with this. I'm a little lost for words. So, everyone is a hypocrite on Twitch because they laughed about something they don't condone. Bad commentary because I don't really know what's happening.
Ew. What the heck?
It was way too far.
Hi, my name is Clay, otherwise known as Dream.
This was way too far.
Dreams.
This was way too far.
Dad, I got this. If we broke in your house.
This was way too far.
It's more the way she is presenting the concept. It's just hard to follow.
But me joking about Cutie's cringe award, Ludwig's girlfriend, their best friend with Mr. Beast, that is mean and not okay. Even though I did the same thing she did on a big stage. But she went actually further than me. She went over people's heads. Because a person with that many sponsors and viewers can't be wrong. Or can they? Let's hear the joke.
I'm a little bit nervous hosting in front of this many people. We sold tickets this year. But I'm trying to do that thing where you picture everybody naked. Thank goodness. I recently got a link on how to do that, so I'll have to use that backstage.
She just made a joke about having a link to see everybody in the audience naked. Cutie and Ludwig said that the big problem was the A-Trick gave awareness to the deepfake.
And I think, honestly,
That's one of the biggest ups Adriok did. Caused a whole new world of harm because so many new people were exposed to this idea.
I'm now grasping what is happening. It slowed down a little bit, so now I kind of know what's going on.
And then went out to see what this idea was.
But I'm trying to picture everybody naked. I got a link on how to do that. I'll have to use that backstage. All these media outlets that reached out to all of the girls involved saying, hey, do you want to do an interview? A lot of the girls are like, I don't want to do an interview because I don't want to further the narrative that I'm a part of this. But I'm trying to picture everybody naked. I recently got a link on how to do that. I'll have to use that backstage.
Usually you do jokes on your own behalf, like Katie with cancer. But Cutie is doing the joke on the audience, where victims of this are sitting. Reverse the roles and imagine if a guy said to the audience full of women that he has a link where he can see them naked. Bruh. We all know he will be canceled. But who am I to have an opinion as to...
Okay, that was a fair point. I'll give her that. That was a fair point. Oh yeah, definitely Mr. Gamer. No one wants to be called out on anything they've ever done wrong.
Twitch viewer doing videos on my phone. I'd rather listen to the socialist in his mansion for millions of dollars doing charity streams, spamming ads.
IRL streams are so much fun, but like they're just not as good as like regular streams. Like you can't run the ads like.
If you want to support this event, this costs a ton of money, but it can all be paid back just by getting merch. Shitcamp.gg. There's no sponsor or anything.
Am I gonna be reimbursed for the firearms stream?
And then complain to Trainwrecks about giving a 24-hour ban to Aiden Ross for showing poop to his audience.
I don't think your positions have changed so much that you think it's okay to show minors, right? I don't think that's the case, right? How many days did he get banned for that off of Kick? How many days did Aiden Ross get banned off Kick for that? I just wanted to know. So you didn't ban him? Did he get banned? Did he get banned? Did he get banned off of Kick? He didn't even get banned for showing minors Kick. That's crazy. You didn't advise them to possibly ban the guy for showing minors for a little bit? 24 hours? You think you should get banned only for 24 hours for showing minors? Do you think Twitch? How would you react if Twitch literally ban someone for 24 hours only? Now you got pulled on your platform. Now you got one of you.
Wait a second. Wasn't someone banned for only 7 days for doing that live on Twitch?
I know why, but like, how long are you banned for?
7 days.
What the? 7 days.
Oh yeah, 7 days suspension.
Your main poster boys at Kick showing to minors, deliberately showing material to your audience that you know may have actual minors involved in it. Do you think that is worthy, even if it's plus 18? Do you think that's worthy of simply 24 hours? Showing minors, even if it's your first infraction on the platform, deserves longer than 24 hours?
But when his best friend Cutie does an OnlyFans ad...
On top of that, sign in using your Twitch account and see which of your favorite streamers are already creating adult content on Fansly.
After a Mario Kart ad for kids, not a single word is spoken.
Obscene matter to minors. Any transfer or attempt to transfer such material to a minor under the age of 16, including over the internet, is punishable under the federal law.
And a free trial of some of our hottest creators. On top of that, sign in using your Twitch account and see which of your favorite streamers are already creating adult content on Fansly. Fansly has a...
While streaming, Aiden Ross decided to go to Pornhub, I guess to make a point about how you can do anything on the site.
I don't really think that's comparable. Is she saying that this ad is as bad as what Aiden Ross did? Okay, I'll let it go a little further, but I think that's what she's saying.
Showed porn to his audience, and keep in mind, a lot of his audience is very young. They're minors, they're actual children.
On top of that, sign in using your Twitch account and see which of your...
Because in the stream title, I believe he had 18 plus there, which I guess is a legal safety net for him to fall back on.
Sign in using your Twitch account and see which of your...
So it's still a very fucking creepy and weird thing to do, especially with that audience and on stream.
That, sign in using your Twitch account and see which of your...
This is that meme. I didn't actually see what Aiden Ross showed, but an ad is not the same thing as the actual site, if you ask me. So according to her, Charlie is a hypocrite for laughing about an ad that's kind of oddly placed. I feel like that's a big leap. Let's check out his response.
I've been catching fire and getting called out, labeled a hypocrite and morally flexible when it comes to things my friends do that I call others out for. So I kind of want to talk about this entire subject here because I feel that it's just a load of dirty barnacles to call me hypocritical when it comes to Fansly advertisements. So, the situation in a nutshell. A couple weeks ago, there was the Streamer Awards that happened on Twitch. I was unable to attend them in person, so I received permission from QT Cinderella to watch party them. This was a massive event that QT Cinderella put together. And one of the advertisers for it, one of the sponsors, was Fansly. So during the stream, a Fansly advertisement popped up, and this was my reaction to it.
A free trial of some of our hottest creators. On top of that, sign in using your Twitch account and see which of your favorite streamers are already creating adult content on Fansly. Fansly has a whole algorithm.
A very tame giggle as if someone came up and playfully tickled me for a moment. And people were upset because I did.
And that ad did not look very horrifying to me.
Taking up arms about how disgusting it was that Fansly was being advertised on this broadcast here. Reason being is because prior I had made a video talking about a couple of things. One of them was Aiden Ross when he showed to his audience. My statement was that Aiden Ross went up in front of his audience, which a lot of them are kids on the younger side of things. So I said that was weird. That was a weird thing to do. So when I giggled during the Fansly segment, it was used as a smoking gun to call out and attack me for being a hypocrite, because it's the same principle. Fansly was just shown on stream to an audience that undoubtedly had kids watching. How is that any different than Aiden Ross going on Charlie is a hypocrite. He called it out for Aiden Ross, but doesn't do it when it's his friend QT Cinderella.
I don't see how what Aiden did and what he did was the same thing or comparable.
It didn't even compute that people would try to compare these two things. Going on an actual legit out of nowhere in front of your audience and just having real being played versus an advertisement, which does lead to. But the advertisement itself has more clothes on than a lot of things that are already freely broadcast on Twitch that are easily accessible. I didn't think these two things deserved to be on the same playing field, but that's where I was wrong. I clearly failed the CAPTCHA here and was labeled a bot because a lot of people do view these in the same category, in the same wheelhouse. I said it was weird when Aiden Ross pulled up, but I laughed when Fansly was a sponsor of the Streamer Awards. Charlie called it out when Aiden Ross pulled up real, but didn't call it out when QT Cinderella advertised. And he did it because she's his friend, thus he is a hypocrite. And on stream I talked about this last night, and I'll go ahead and get this out of the way right away. During that stream, and in the exact same video MuKitty has posted on one of her channels, I outright say both are bad.
I mean, arguably, what Aiden Ross did was a lot worse. It was more of a jump scare than a invitation, so to speak.
What I was saying. But in that clip, I outright say both can be bad, but they are not the same to me. Thus, I disagree that it's hypocritical that I made statements about Aiden Ross and the thing being really weird, and I didn't make the exact same statements for QT Cinderella's Fansly sponsor. Of course, advertising Fansly, OnlyFans, or anything in front of an audience that has younger children on it, it's always going to be not a great decision. It's one of those things, yeah. Difference between Aiden Ross pulling up and QT Cinderella bringing up a Fansly sponsor is very clear right off rip. If all of you in the classroom right now have your thinking caps on, you'll notice a huge difference. I was able to play the entire Fansly ad as it aired because they are all clothed. You are not getting immediate nudity or content. It is an advertisement for content going to the website, yes, but unlike Aiden Ross's, showing the to an unsuspecting audience out of nowhere is a lot worse than advertising a service that has on it. And that's something Scott Schaefer does touch on in his video. His is more of a deeper look at the subject, and MuKitty's is more memeing with it. I always thought her content was supposed to be silly and over-the-top trolling, but she does seem genuinely upset at me, and I imagine it's because of my statements. And I also did say I'm not the biggest fan of the way she edits her content. I called it Zoomer editing, which sounds mean-spirited when I really didn't mean it to be.
I mean, he's not exactly wrong. Her editing style is really hard to follow, especially in the beginning of the video. It was very TikTok, loud noises and zooming by PNGs. I feel like if she eased up a little bit on the chaos of the editing, it'd be easier to get her message. Because for me, I didn't understand till like maybe halfway through the video what she was trying to say.
Chaotic on purpose, where it's a lot of sound effects, you know, like a song being hit pretty often, or like really loud blasting music pretty often, and that's just never been my cup of tea. Last night I made the comparison that the Fansly ad actually had more clothing on the people in it than what you would already find on Twitch right now in the hot tubs category, where it is bikinis and very, very revealing clothing. And that is a category that Twitch itself advertises. If you go to Twitch when you're not logged in, a lot of the recommended channels are hot tub streams, so Twitch itself does peddle content that is clearly charged. My point with this statement was to draw the immediate comparison that this Fansly advertisement wasn't immediately exposing young viewers to material.
That is a sad but true statement. I thought she was just purely trolling. I didn't think she had a real message.
My point was the ad itself didn't contain any explicit imagery or anything highly, at least nothing that was worse than what is already currently being advertised on Twitch in that category. And when you go to Fansly, there is still not immediately ass and titties in your face right away. Thus, I didn't think by scanning the QR code people would immediately just be f***ing blasted with porn all over the place. I also was under the assumption that Fansly was only accessible to 18+ after you verified your age. I don't use the platform. I thought you had to verify you were 18+ in order to even get to the content. Thus, I thought it was even harder for children.
You don't need an ID or anything like that? It's just, trust me, bro, I'm 18. Alright.
Not only would they have had to leave the platform to get it, they would then have to verify their age and make an account for it. I thought there was a lot of steps to it, making it very difficult for them. But according to some research now, it actually seems like Fansly is extremely easily accessible for anyone of any age. There's not a whole lot of security to it based on the things I've read, which is knowledge I didn't have last night. But yeah, in closing, I feel like there is no real good faith argument to be made that I'm hypocritical because I called Aiden Ross pulling up weird and didn't immediately start calling out how weird it was for Fansly to be a sponsor of the Streamer Awards. I feel like the two aren't really comparable. Granted, I've now learned that it's easier than I thought it was. I still think the two are drastically different. So I still just don't think it's hypocritical.
And I do hope there are more measures taken to protect children from the online world. Yeah, both were bad. Really shouldn't be advertising that to children. But I have to say Aiden Ross did that a lot worse. There was no way to age gate who was watching his stream. He's just like, yeah, you're all old enough. Here you go. I've seen pictures. His fans look really young, like 13. But after this, she made another video.
If you're coming here to see me troll around, I can't anymore because hypocritical lied so much about me and the situation.
Put her money where her mouth is.
That I was forced to re-edit my whole video and now debunk every single lie that was made. It's not a great decision, but never said both are bad.
I outright say both are bad.
And this lie is important. He lies that the viewer didn't hear the full statement when the clip he's talking about is from the day before this recording, which is weeks.
I already see a discrepancy. He said on stream last night when he recorded a hypocrisy, so the one she is referring to is literally the one he is talking about. So there is no lie. He did talk about it the night before.
After the call out.
Pretty clear from reading her comments, not like her personal comments, but like the audience comments, that the majority of the people didn't even watch the full statement.
The next lie is also very important, and it's done many times, where he words, I didn't do the exact same statement, when he didn't do any statement at all.
Thus, I disagree that it's hypocritical that I made statements about Aiden Ross and the being really weird, and I didn't make the exact same statements for QT Cinderella's Fansly sponsor.
He keeps pushing on this narrative that we missed the clip that proves he's not a hypocrite, but the clip is after my video, the day before this video. So he uses the word prove, which in the viewer's minds means that he is proving something, but the clip is after my video. Guys, do you understand?
I am absolutely dumbfounded. She's just manipulating the timeline to fit what she thinks is right.
It's a lie, guys.
But one is clearly worse than the other. The one that I talked about in the immediately after it happened, and then the one I didn't talk about immediately after it happened.
And now he lies again and said that it was kind of weird when I just proved that he didn't.
Immediately after it happened, I laughed and then said later, wow, that was kind of weird.
I laughed and said later, wow, that was kind of weird. It just proves my point. Like, her timeline and his just don't match up.
He then lies about me harping on him and bringing him up. I think this is to make his fans defend him, but I never harped on him.
That's her whole point. Why does she keep bringing me up and harping on me? Because I laughed at it.
But the main point remains. If I didn't call it out, he would have never said anything. And the reason is because it's his business partner.
That is a big assumption to make. Oh yes, Battle Puppet. She does come off as unhinged. Just a bit. I feel like I'm watching mental gymnastics at work. Okay, and after this, Charlie did make one more response.
It excuses the Fansly promotion, which again, I have never once defended or said was a good thing. But this slight difference in perspective on it has led to all of this hostility, and I tried to explain that in the last video because I thought maybe there was just a misunderstanding there, but she took the last video as more of a declaration of war. And another thing I want to come forward with right away, and I didn't think this needed explaining either, one of the core points that she as well as others are making is that this is actually a very insidious plot that I'm hiding on purpose because Ludwig is my friend and QT Cinderella is his girlfriend. QT Cinderella ran the Streamer Awards, she was responsible for the Fansly promotion. So people were saying that I'm, excusing everything she did because she's Ludwig's girlfriend. And I didn't think this needed explaining. This is going to be a common thing. I didn't think a lot of this needed explaining, but I'll do it anyway. I've now said in like 5 videos over the last 5 months, I don't see eye to eye with anyone all the time, even my best friends. So, even though I do respect QT, and of course I respect Ludwig, I consider them friends, I didn't see eye to eye with QT on this. Thus, I wasn't going to pretend like I did and defend it.
And just because you're friends with someone doesn't mean that you cannot criticize them and nothing's going on behind the scenes. Like, he probably just talked to her. And then this video came out and he's like, well, I guess I'll publicly say the obvious.
And kidding around.
Everybody, including me, is tired of this subject. On him defending promotion of kids. But
we're not even 30 seconds into this video and she's already told her first lie, which is ironic. It almost makes her seem like the hypocrite here. She says that I have defended the promotion to kids. Do you have any evidence to back that up?
Nice argument, Senator. Why don't you back it up with a source?
My source is that I made it the fuck up.
You have a clip of me saying that what QT Cinderella did with promoting Fansly during the Streamer Awards is good? Defending it in any way? Because as far as I can recall, I have only ever said that it's not a good decision.
First lie manipulates the narrative that he already said both are bad.
Manipulates the narrative. She is saying that he's lying because he said it after her video, and he never said that he said it before.
This is a pretty interesting angle to try and play here, trying to catch me on not saying verbatim both are bad until the video went live. Even though I had explicitly said that it wasn't a good decision, which you outright acknowledge in this clip here, in your video, and the point I was making in the last video is in that same piece of content you posted on your second channel proudly, I do say it is not a good decision. I don't understand why she's trying to make this argument here, acting like her whole audience has their brain off and can't understand what it means when I say something is not a good decision. That means it's not good, thus is bad.
You have to be very specific with MuKitty. You have to verbatim say, this is X and then this is Y, or you are hypocritical.
Fansly actually came up during the Streamer Awards. You can see he actually lets out a little laugh, and it seems like he's at least somewhat uncomfortable that this type of content was being promoted during the Streamer Awards.
I mean, what was he supposed to say? during the stream.
Sign in using your Twitch account and see which is your
Did I just get a little tickle from under the desk or something? There is nothing to laugh about there, except for the absurdity of the situation. I didn't think that needed explanation, so I didn't even bother in the last one, but it's something she seems to harp on that I never made any indication that I found it uncomfortable or weird. And to go a step further, in the following stream or the stream after, in one of the days following the Streamer Awards, someone in chat had asked me if I thought it was weird that Fansly was advertised during it, and I point blank said yes. I didn't just ignore it. That is just a blatant lie.
Oh yeah, she was definitely cherry picking, Mr. Gamer. That was my issue with her second video. I even debunked her own timeline, real time.
Which is weeks after the call out.
Pretty clear from reading her comments, not like her personal comments, but like the audience comments, that the majority of the people didn't even watch the full statement. There must be a ghost in the machine of this lie counter on screen because it's going wacko mode. I don't know what's being counted as lies here because her points haven't changed, yet the counter is going up. I'm guessing it's because she's trying to say that the timeline condemns me. It had been about a week before I responded to her video, so my speed to the response was suboptimal. The explanation there should be pretty obvious to any sentient human being out there. I didn't see it until a couple days before I talked about it on stream. I had meant to talk about it the next day, but I forgot. I don't remember why, and I apologize. Maybe I should have talked about it the very second that I had finished watching it, but I forgot.
Yeah, I don't think Charlie is a part of the double standard either. Just because you didn't call it out right that moment when she thought was the right moment, I don't really think that makes him a hypocrite. There's no nuance in her argument. There's black and white, he's a liar because this timeline I made up.
Weird, and I didn't make the exact same statements for QT Cinderella's Fansly sponsor. What? I don't actually really get what you're saying with this one. Is it an issue with the way I laid out the situation? Was the issue me saying exact same? The word exact? Was that the problem? The pressure point? Because if so, I mean, I guess we can dive into that a bit. Maybe we need to start with a definition of hypocrisy, I suppose. So again, this whole video I made was just defending me from the hypocrisy allegations, not minimizing the actual subject matter, which I find to be a pretty important talking point. It was just defending myself from claims of hypocrisy. So in order for the situation to have been hypocritical, I would have needed to call over Aiden Ross and call it the worst thing in the world, get the pitchfork out because he showed the moment, and meanwhile, pat QT Cinderella on the back and defend it, applaud it, say that the Fansly promotion is totally fine. That would have been hypocritical.
That would have been hypocritical, but that is not what he did. I seen MuKitty on Twitter, and even after this video we're watching dropped, she was still calling him, Harry Pinocchio or something. So she's still not dropping it, even now. Maybe he should have stated outright that it's not something he's okay with, but at the same time, I mean, it was a very small piece of a probably very long stream. He said it was from the day before. He states in the video titled Hypocrisy that the live response April 3rd is from the day before. So there is no real gotcha she's trying to pull there.
Then keeps on brainwashing the narrative that he didn't do it immediately when he never did anything. It's a lie, guys.
And then the one I didn't talk about immediately after happened.
And now he lies again and said that it was kind of weird when I just proved that he didn't.
Immediately after it happened, I laughed and then said later, wow, that was kind of weird. I don't know how many times she's going to make the exact same statement and chalk it up to a new lie.
He can't defend himself later. Her whole point is he didn't say anything directly after the stream. He said it so many times after that. Why is it an issue at this point? Why is she still hammering this home? He's a hypocrite because he didn't say it right after. Like, that's never going to change, is it? If he was to say, Aiden Ross, bad, QT Cinderella, good. That's hypocrisy.
Now, I at first was very charitable, thinking that she was coming from a place of genuine care. That is obviously not the reality of the situation. So this is my full response to everything she said here, and hopefully this will be the end of it because, again, if she really does care about it, then we're on the same team, because I think it was a problem too. I don't think it was a good thing that Fansly got promoted at the Streamer Award. I've said it a lot. I've said it now again for the millionth time. So this is once again me just defending myself from hypocrisy allegations, but there are real things you could criticize me for, like not making it clear enough in the beginning. That is something I do regret. I should have been a lot clearer with how I felt about it, and I feel like I missed the mark there, but hopefully all of this is cleared up exactly where I stand on all of it. I'm tired of her pretending that because Ludwig's my friend, I've defended QT. I haven't. I've done the opposite. I have said I don't support it. So I don't know why she keeps running with that narrative and trying to push that agenda that is just not the truth, which is very ironic considering her whole video is about how I wasn't being truthful. So it's wild.
It's just all ridiculous. I felt dumb watching her video. Like, especially the second one, because that just had no substance to it. It was really interesting. The videos themselves made my head hurt, but it was nice having everyone here to talk about it. And that was the end of my first live stream highlight video. If you were there live, thank you for sticking with me with my very low audio. I had a couple of comments saying it was low and I didn't know how to fix it, so I'm sorry about that. And I also forgot to hit record on my streaming software, so I'm sorry the quality of this video is not very good. The next ones in the future will be better. I just hope you enjoyed the utter chaos of the first stream. I do want to thank my channel members, especially my tier 3 members, my super Nekos. And if you want to become a member, there is a link down in the description below. And there's also a link to our community Discord, so feel free to join that if you'd like. And with that, I will see you all next time. Bye!